Thank you for watching the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. You're watching another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. This is episode 80. Today's date is December 1st, 2018. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Troy West, and thank you always for the support. We had a wild week in the world of sports. Big win for the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night against the New Orleans Saints. We'll talk a little bit about that because it's week 13 in NFL. A lucky week 13 so far, as that got us off to a strong start. Got some key games. We'll have all the picks coming up. We'll talk a little NBA today, about quarter way through the season, and we got some surprises here, especially in the West. So we'll go over that as well. Big games in college football, as the college football playoffs will be determined today. Oklahoma playing Texas for the Big 12 championship at noon. That should be a huge game. Ohio State and Northwestern plays for the Big 10 championship. Clemson in the ACC championship going against Pittsburgh. People not really thinking Clemson going to lose. And Alabama has a tough one against Georgia in the SEC championship. So we'll see how all the chips fall by days in, and we'll talk about that next week, as we already have the 4 teams in the playoff. But we're gonna start in the NBA. Of course, it's early in the season. I pulled up the standings here because the Western Conference has been the surprise. Right now, think about this: the LA Clippers are your 1 seed. The Denver Nuggets are your 2 seed. Right now, as we sit right now, they're your 2 top teams in the West. Denver, we thought they would play pretty well this year, with the young nucleus they have with Jokic in the middle. But the Clippers are a little bit surprised. No Clippers don't come off the top of my head right away. But they got a nice little young team as well, and they play pretty well right now. Memphis has been a surprise. They at 13-8. Warriors at 15-8. If you was wondering where they are. Teams I thought they'd be doing better that's out of it right now. Houston at 10-11, and Utah at 11-12. And so is New Orleans. New Orleans got off to a good start. They had struggled, but OKC in the mix. The Lakers at 13-9. So is the Blazers. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be it's a long season, but I guess the biggest surprise Friday, the LA Clippers. We'll see if they be able to stay at least at the top 8 in the West. Out east, though, no major surprises. Toronto playing very well at 19-4, got the best record in the league. Kawhi Leonard is definitely healthy, for sure. Milwaukee playing good basketball. Arthur Bakuko, the Greek Freak. Shaq gave him the Superman name, which can't argue too much about that. If he ever gets a jump shot, he'd be the greatest player probably we ever seen. But he's physical. He's going to take it to the hole on you, and he's great defensively as well. And he passes the ball well too. That's underrated about him. Philadelphia hanging in there. Of course, you know they made the trade for Jimmy Butler. Got Detroit. Boston is probably the team that you think that's struggling right now. Well, a big surprise, I guess, on the negative side. Surprisingly, Orlando hanging in there at 11-12. And I wrote down here, as the East already said, these might be already the 8 teams here, because Miami is one of those teams, like they, by reputation, I had them making the playoffs. But if you look at their team as a overall, I mean, they got some good players, Goran Dragic and Whiteside, but no real player to really, like, you know, take over a game or give you consistent scoring, really, honestly. But they already 5 games below 500. Wizards are the Wizards. They just a mess right now. Howard, Dwight Howard, you know, his personal news just got out there, which I talked a little bit about it on Wednesday. Like I'm just gonna say, I don't really, you know, that's his personal business. That's why you kind of gotta own it before the crowd get to it. But the person that's trying to blackmail him basically is wrong. But the crazy thing is, not trying to make a joke out of this, but he got a back injury now, and he's gonna be out for 2 months. So I know people were joking about that, but the Wizards are just a mess. John Wall, of course, you heard the news about him. Brooklyn, don't think they're going to improve but too much, even though I like their team and what they're doing. The Knicks, don't think they're going to do too much. Then Atlanta, Chicago, and Cleveland. Cleveland, I thought they would be competing, but I don't think they want to. I think they want to try to get a high pick. So you're 8 right here. Orlando, Charlotte. Charlotte been playing pretty well. Boston, Indiana, Detroit, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Toronto. They might be already at 8 right there. Like, I don't see any of the other teams that's below the 8 already. Maybe cracking into it. Only team I see maybe that might come back to earth is Orlando, and maybe one of these teams. Even the Wizards, even though they got their problems, they got the talent. They might creep back up into that 8th spot. But I think the other 7, I think they solid. Charlotte, with Kemba Walker, you see what he's done, 60 points last week sometime. So I think your 8 might be already. You already got your 8 here. Just what order would they be in? I think Toronto's going to win the first seed now. I don't think Boston's going to catch them for that. Boston might get to that top 4 once they get together. But I think they just got too much talent on the court and try to figure it out. But yeah, that's NBA interesting. I think they had it was a good game. Toronto and Golden State. People were saying, well, was that a finals preview? It could be. Because I can't look at Toronto the same with Kawhi Leonard than I did with DeMar DeRozan, no offense to him. I don't think that's their trophy. Plus, LeBron ain't in the East anymore either. So that's 2 doors that open for the Raptors that wasn't open before. So I look at them differently than I did. So I could see them coming out the East. Philadelphia and Boston being strong contenders, and Milwaukee as well. Milwaukee can't dismiss Milwaukee either. So they the 4 top teams in the East clearly, and everybody else. Indiana is a strong contender as well. Well, when I say strong, but they was there last year, which was surprising. But I think the East might be already set. Also, some other news off the court. LeBron, Magic Johnson, I think was on a radio show in Los Angeles. Basically said. He want LeBron's usage to go down a little bit in his minutes, monitor his minutes. He don't want it to be like Cleveland when he basically got to do everything. So they're going to try to change that, lower his minutes, get the ball in his hands a little bit more. And I think he had a good point. You got 2 point guards on the team, 2 good ones. Well, Rondo's a proven point guard, and Lonzo Ball supposed to be a point guard. So I think he had a point with what he said. Some people get twisted around. People might think LeBron upset about it. I don't think so. I think LeBron wants to have less on his shoulders. So the Lakers will be an interesting team all year long. As you look at the talent on paper, they got decent talent. Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, still a little bit. Got to develop some more, but they got the talent. So we'll see how the Lakers season unfolds. We're gonna move on to the NFL. We're gonna get the picks in here. Of course, I didn't have the Saints losing Thursday night to the Cowboys, but what a game that was. That was another good game for a primetime game. Saints just got out physical. Dallas brought it to them, and they was able to win the game. Drew Brees didn't look like Drew Brees. They was all over him. They shut the running game down for the most part. They played good football on defense. Dallas left some points on the board on offense. But like I said, I think if they somehow won this game, and even before this game, I had them in line to win the East. I think they definitely is now. Even though they got Philadelphia next week, which they already beat in Philadelphia. So if they win that game, that's definitely, to me, that's like a clincher for the East to me. So another big game coming up for Dallas next week. They played good. Gotta give them credit for it. New Orleans, don't look at them too much differently. These days happen. Thursday night games are weird, as I always say. I think they'll lick their wolves. They'll be right back. Might have lost the first seed though. That's one thing I probably gotta not acknowledge. Rams play the Detroit Lions this week. Lions up and down team. I think they're gonna take care of business. I think they got a real easy schedule. Still got some division games left, so I don't see the Rams dropping another game again. We'll see how days unfold. But I think if whoever gets home field will definitely be the favorite to come out the NFC. But let's get to the picks now. First up, it is our first game on our Big Five. The Baltimore Ravens at the Atlanta Falcons. Ravens at 6-5, Falcons 4-7. We thought they were about to turn it around. They lost 2 straight, including one to the Browns. No, still a butt of the joke to lose to the Browns. But Atlanta though, actually a 1.5 point favorite, which I'm okay with that. This is a dangerous game for the Ravens. Of course, the Ravens right now holds a playoff spot. Lamar Jackson, I believe, is going to start, even though Flacco has been cleared this week. But I think Jackson's still in line to start. And that's going to be an interesting decision. Where the Ravens go? Will they stay with Jackson, or will they go back to Joe Flacco? I personally think, like I said, now I'm probably leaning like the Ravens have a chance to make the playoffs. I thought they was done when they lost to Pittsburgh. But so many other teams bunched up that they got a shot. But that being said, I still, no matter what, if Jackson gets them to the playoffs, that's fine. If he don't, that's fine to me as well. I think you gotta let him play. I think they need to just move on from Joe Flacco. They need to rebuild, and I think it should start now. If they make the playoffs, that's good. That's good experience for them. But I would stay with Jackson. I want to go back to Joe Flacco, in my personal opinion. So we'll see what the Ravens do. Falcons, too far behind. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs at all. I don't think they really have a shot. Even if they wind up running the table some miracle way, which I think they're not anyway. And I don't guarantee them winning this game. But I'm going to go with the Ravens. I ain't going to lie, it's a little bit of a fandom pick. I normally always pick the Ravens. There's something that I do. But I don't feel great about this game. Atlanta do have a powerful offense, and they can put together a 30-40 point game, even though the Ravens defense is formidable. I think they're number 1 now in the NFL. So, but in that dome, just never know how Atlanta gonna come out. We'll see though. But I got the Ravens winning, and a close one. I think that 1.5 is a good number. Say the Ravens win by about 3 or something. Maybe in the high 20s would be the final score. Bills, Dolphins. This game is a coin flip because the Bills sometimes play real well. It surprises you. And the Dolphins have been jack away high for the last couple of weeks. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins just because they're at home. If it was at Buffalo, I probably would pick Buffalo. It's one of those type of games for me. Both of these teams, I don't think the Dolphins made the playoffs. They're just not playing well enough, even though they're in the mix. And Bills not mathematically out. Only 4-7, but I don't think the Bills ain't making the playoffs. So, but I'm gonna go with the Dolphins here to make things interesting for the playoff picture. I think they win. They at home. Bears at Giants. Bears at 8-3. Giants at 3-8. There was a talk like they could get back into the East race, which was possible, but they lost a crazy game. They was up by 14. Who was it? To Philadelphia. Philadelphia came all the way back and won the game. That was just a terrible loss. Bears rolling right now, but they got the backup in Chase Daniel, but I think it'll be enough to beat the Giants. Probably shut the Giants offense down. I think Eli looked like he need to retire again. They put pressure on Khalil Mack coming after him. Got the Bears winning at least by 10 points. Broncos at Bengals. This made my top 5 because this is pretty much a playoff. Has some playoff implications in this game. Broncos 5.5 favorite. Both teams 5-6 coming in. Bengals are just a mess. Off the field stuff with Hugh Jackson coming in. Just played terrible the last couple. I think they was 4-2. Now they 5-6. So lost. They're losing for the most part. Denver's sort of creeping back up into it. Denver's no slouch team. They got a good defense. Case Keenum was a steady at quarterback. But the Bengals are playing so bad right now. I'm going to go with the Broncos here think it's gonna be close though. I think it'd be less than that 5.5. I don't think they cover that, but I think it'd be a close game. But I think Denver will pull it out in the end. Broncos, John Elway been getting criticized every once in a while about his quarter. Why he ain't found a quarterback. He drafted a couple, Paxton Lynch, and others that didn't pan out. And Case Keenum's playing okay this year, but not setting the world on fire, which you didn't expect that. I think Denver was expected to just run them, have a good strong running game and rely on that defense. And Case Keenum just made throws when he had to. That's what he did last year in Minnesota and got them to the NFC Championship game. But Denver's a dangerous team. Definitely would be in the mix for that playoff spot. And I think they go to Cincinnati and they win. The Bengals just a mess. They're just a mess off the field and on the field. So I go with Denver here, but I think they won't cover that 5.5. Browns at Texans. That made by Big 5. Browns 4-6-1. Texans at 8-3. Of course, New Orleans lost, so they probably gonna fall a little bit in my power rankings. Of course, this week, Houston is in it. They number 4 right now in my power rankings. They had 5.5 favorite. All the games I picked was 5. Like 3 of them, a couple of games are 5.5, 5.5. Browns a scrappy team. I don't think they're gonna do enough to beat the Texans. The Charlotte Washington started to look like he got his form back. I think him and DeAndre Hopkins hooks up a couple of times. Lamar Miller, underrated running back. He broke that 97-yard run on Monday night. But I think he's a steady running back. I think the Texans will control this game. I think Cleveland will fight though. I think the Texans will cover this 5.5. I think they win by at least 7 at home and take a stronger hold on the AFC South Division. I think they win it at home. Rams, Lions. Rams 10-1. Lions at 4-7. Lions are a little sneaky team. They play well every once in a while, but they had 10 days though to get ready for this game. So I think it'll be competitive. Excuse me, sorry about that. I think it'll be competitive, but I think the Rams will pull away and win it to go to 11-1. Like I said, I don't see them dropping any more games. So I think the Saints probably lost home field the other night. But the Lions are sneaky. I think they could make this a game. I don't know what the line is, but I think the Rams might not even cover their line. So I apologize about that. Rams, though, I think the Rams win. That ain't on my Big 5 though. Cardinals, Packers, of course, that's not on here. Cardinals 2-9, just terrible this year. Packers trying to make the playoffs, got a slight chance. They got to win this game, and I think they will. I don't think the Cardinals gonna win this game. I think it might be closer than you think though, but I think the Packers will win it. They got to win this game. If they don't win this game, then they don't deserve to make the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers, too much on his plate, as people have been saying this week. Been a lot of talk about McCarthy's job on the line, which probably should be, but we'll see where all that unfolds. But I got Green Bay winning by at least a touchdown at home. Colts, Jaguars. Jags, to me, like I said, most disappointing team in the NFL to me. I guess the NBA Capitals. Colts are probably one of the most surprising teams in the NFL. 6-5, coming on strong, 1-5 straight. Andrew Luck looks like he's back. I think they continue the trend. They go down there in Jacksonville and win. Jaguars are also a mess off the field as well. A lot of drama and everything. So I think the Colts go down there and win it by at least a touchdown as well. Buccaneers, Panthers is next. Panthers have been struggling this week. I mean, the last few weeks. Thought they was a strong playoff contender. They right now still hold a playoff spot. Going against the Buccaneers, this is a crazy game. Tampa plays, at least they score points. That's one thing that Tampa do. We'll see if Carolina can withstand that. I think they will. I think they go down there and win. They're going to be close though. Titans, Jets. Got the Titans winning here. Titans at home, 5-6. They need to win to stay alive in the playoffs. Jets, pretty much done. Sam Darnold been benched. Josh McCown in there. Played a little bit better against New England last week. But this is a game. This is probably one of those good Titans games. Since Titans are up and down all year as well. I think this might potentially could be a blowout game there. I think the Titans win at home. Chiefs and Raiders. Chiefs 9-2, Raiders 2-9. Of course, we all know about what the Raiders are doing. I think they potentially try to lose. Chiefs coming off that big loss to the Rams. I think they play a lot better. Well, they played good in that game, but I think they probably put up another 40 points on the Raiders. I think they win pretty easily. Say at least by 14. They go into the black hole and win. Vikings and Patriots. That makes my big five list. Vikings 6-4-1, Patriots at 8-3. Vikings has one of those wild card spots right now as well. Kirk Cousins a bit up and down this year, but playing pretty well overall. Vikings defense has taken a step back. Patriots, of course, beat the Jets last week. Starting to get healthy. Gronk looked like he's healthy. Got Strody Michelle back on offense, so the offense started to get healthy. So that helps Tom Brady out a lot. I think they're at home. I think they win this game. They 5.5 favorites, which is seems like every game this week got that line. I think they cover that. I think they beat them by at least 7. Minnesota, if they could get Dalvin Cook run that running game, I noticed when I was watching for Viking games this year, if he plays well, it seems like their whole offense plays well. Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, probably the best duo of wide receivers in the league. Adam Thielen especially, he's underrated. I don't know. I just think the Patriots, since they're home, they're covered at 5.5, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a closer game. But I'm gonna go with the Patriots here, winning at home. And one of the marquee matchups of the week. 49ers, Seahawks, 49ers, 2-9. Of course, injury to Garoppolo. The real day season, thought they'd be better. Seahawks 6-5, still fighting for a playoff spot. Seattle at home. I think Seattle win this game. Of course, you heard about what Richard Sherman said, basically about Russell Wilson. He had no relationship with him, and blah blah blah, and all that other stuff. So a little bit of some drama in this game. Of course, this is his first game back. Of course, he was with Seattle his whole career till now. Legion of Boom, of course, all that's over with now. It is clearly Russell Wilson's team. Russell Wilson is a good quarterback. That's why they 6-5. You probably think they had no business being this good, but they are. They fight for a playoff spot. And I think they take care of business. I think they win this game. See if I think Richard Sherman makes some type of big play in the game. But I think the Seahawks will still win it at home and get to 7-5 to try to stay alive in that playoff hunt in the NFC. Sunday night football games. The Los Angeles Chargers are almost at San Diego, and the Pittsburgh Steelers 8-3 Chargers, 7-3-1 Steelers. Steelers 3.5 favorites. That is on my Big Five, my final Big Five game. Steelers at home. They're gonna be tough for the Chargers, even though it's a night game. So the time and all that won't throw them off, but too much. Don't know how the weather's going to be. It might be warm, because it's going to be warm here Sunday, so it might be a little unseasonably warm in Pittsburgh as well. I'm in Baltimore, so on the East Coast is supposed to be kind of warm on Sunday. So it might be a little warmer than normal. But they think Pittsburgh, coming off that loss, I think they play much better at home. I think they somehow get it done. I think it'll be a close, good game. I think 3.5 points is a good number. I think it would be within that, or 4 or 5, within a touchdown. Phillip Rivers, of course, you know what he did last week. What was it, 28 of 29 passing. And the Chargers got a good team. Their schedule just haven't been that strong. So that's why a lot of people are skeptical on them. But I think if they go in there and win this game, this will open up some eyes here. But I think the Steelers will get it done. They're at home. Yeah, they play pretty well at home. I think they get it done. I see if James Conner can bounce back as well. Had some big turnovers in that Denver game last week. And for the Chargers, I don't know if Melvin Gordon played. I don't think he is. So to me, that favors Pittsburgh in my opinion. So we'll see. But I think the Steelers win it though, either or. Even if Melvin going plays, I think they just play better at home and they'll show it Sunday night. So one game left, the Monday night game. I'll talk more about it on my Monday morning football hangover. It's on my live YouTube segment that I do every Monday, looking back on Sunday's games. But I got the Eagles winning against Washington. Of course, everybody knows what's going on in Washington this week. The Reuben Foster fiasco. And also some news. I'll get into that in a second. But Eagles. I think the risk is just Colt McCoy. You know, he's a decent quarterback, but he's not a quarterback you will rely on. So I think the Eagles will get it done at home tomorrow. We'll talk more about that on Monday morning. I'll give you a score and everything. Like I said, I was about to talk about the Reuben Foster thing. Me, when I started doing it, I don't know where I stand on it because I don't know all the facts, and that's what some people are saying as well. But I just would have waited because I don't think nobody would have picked them up. They said the Eagles was interested, speaking of the Eagles, but they did, you know, a little bit more digging and they didn't touch them. But why just not wait for them to clear waivers and then, you know, and have this, whatever this is, be done with, then pick them up. I think they showed some insensitivity this week. Doug Williams, of course, the famous quarterback in the 80s in the Super Bowl for the Redskins. He's like the VP operations or something. He had some statements and he said this is small potato. So basically real insensitive about the situation. But Reuben Foster's, like I said, I think he is an idiot though, because this is the same woman that supposedly lied on you the first time. Why would you even still deal with her? I wouldn't deal with her. So, but a lot of stuff coming out though about her, though, you know, degrading her character because she lies a lot. Of course, she lied in court numerous of times. So a lot of people thinking this might be another lie, but who knows, you know. But Reuben Foster, you got to stay away from her for sure, and for people that's gonna, you know, try to take you out like that. So, so for that being said, I think he deserves some type of punishment. He's on the zip list to all his clears, but brother, you gotta stay away. Especially after the now, you gotta cut bait with this woman, man, flat out, you know. So hope it all works out. But Redskins, you know, which well, with the name, you know, that's another thing that's been coming out this week. You know, every time they get mentioned in anything, we talk about the nickname. I don't know. I'm not Native American, so I'm not going to speak for Native Americans. I'm not going to speak for how other people feel about it. Me, I'm on the fence because my thinking is it's been the nickname forever. And I know times have changed, you know. I don't want to say people are more sensitive, but people are more open-minded, more inclined to speak their mind now, you know, due to social media and whatever else you want to blame. And just like one person I think said, I don't know exactly who, somebody on TV, you know, like if it's just one person, it should be changed, which it's hard to argue that. You know, if it's offensive to anybody, maybe the name should be changed, but you know, there's been studies done, this and that most Native Americans don't have a problem with it. Me just speaking from, you know, how I feel about it, wouldn't mind for a name change, but I just think, like, why now? You know, it's been a nickname forever. I don't know how long the Redskins existed, but it's been the name for a long time, so that's the only reason why I'm like, okay. But if they change the name, that's fine. You know, if it's offended people, it should be changed. So that's my thoughts on that. But Redskins, everybody counting them out. If they win this game Monday night, though, they'd be right back in the NFC East race, and that'd be a devastating loss to the Eagles. I think they'd be done. So this is a must-win game for the Eagles to me, if they're gonna make the playoffs and win this division. So, but move on to, well, we about to wrap things up, actually, because that was my final game to talk about. Like I said, we'll talk more about that game on Monday anyway. I was about to talk about, speaking of domestic violence, unfortunate for Kareem Hunt, he got cut yesterday by the Kansas City Chiefs. Video came out of him, which I haven't watched yet. I'm gonna probably look it up and watch it myself. Video of him basically hitting a woman, throwing her down on the ground, stomping her, really degrading this woman. And the Chiefs decided to let him go. And I mean, I like Kareem Hunt. I don't know him at all. Like, ain't like I know him, but I like him as a player. Like, he's an awesome talent. And I wouldn't be surprised somebody scoop him up. You know, I don't know if he's on the zip list or anything in the NFL, but he's gonna get another shot somewhere. He's too talented. Just sad because I like that for the Chiefs. The three-headed monster, him, Tyreek Hill, and Patrick Mahomes. Spencer Ware, he's a good running back, but he's not Kareem Hunt, man. I really like the guy. I'm fortunate for him, but I don't like what I should say when, yeah, he's wrong. You know, most likely he's wrong. You know, should never hit a woman and all that. You know, I'm definitely against domestic violence. I got 5 sisters of my own. I just hate when stuff come out. Like, it's almost been a year, and now this video come out, and now y'all decided to cut the man. Now, I knew about the situation, even though you don't see it. Why do you need to see a video, like, to make up your mind? I know a video is more damning, is more you seeing it with your eyes instead of hearing it with your mouth. Is definitely a big difference. It definitely touches you more. I agree with that. But why do you need a video? You know what happened. I think they said they talked to him. He came to him as well. They talked about it. And you know, if you out in public, you know, most likely is a video camera somewhere, especially at hotels. They're everywhere. I think this happened at a hotel lobby or something. Like, so you knew it was a video. So you knew it was a video. You just didn't know how bad it was. And supposedly it's over the top. So they let him go. Unfortunate for him. I don't feel sorry for him per se, but it's just sad. A young kid, you know, has to gotta follow the sword. You gotta be responsible. I guess it's the Chiefs' way of maybe teaching him that. But somebody's going to get him. It might not be this year, but he's going to get picked. He's going to play again in the NFL. He's too talented. So I'm hoping. I'm honestly hoping. Like, as a fan, I hope the Chiefs pick him right back up if they can. But that's an unfortunate turn of events. Unfortunate news this week as well. Actually, just yesterday they cut him. So unfortunate. Talked a little bit about college football. Some big, huge games today. It's championship week. All the Power Fives have their championships, and all can make playoff spots. Clemson and Pittsburgh. Nobody expected Clemson to lose. Alabama plays Georgia in the SEC championship. Big scenario there. Say if Georgia wins, that's going to turn some. Going to make things very chaotic. Because you drop Alabama all the way out. Which I don't think they will. They're not going to drop Alabama all the way out. If they lose, that'd be a scenario. The Oklahoma-Ohio State scenario, to me, I think if Oklahoma wins, they should be in, period. They're ahead of Ohio State already. They playing a tougher opponent. I think it's a no-brainer, but I heard some people that's on the committee or around the committee saying if Ohio State put up like 60 points and blow Northwestern out, they could jump Oklahoma. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right, in my opinion. But it might happen because Ohio State more of a draw, I think, for us fans and all that other garbage. But I think if Oklahoma wins, they should be in, period. Even if they beat Texas by 3, they should be in. And just like I think Will Cage said this, it'd be avenging your loss. That's the only loss they have is to Texas. Then you go ahead and beat them. So it'd be like, I ain't gonna say it'd be like you did lose, but you beat the team that did beat you, so you to be even, you know. So I think they should be in if they win. I don't think it should be no question, but it wouldn't be shocked me if Ohio State destroys Northwestern. They'd be in. Pac-12 championship tonight as well. Washington, Utah. You know, Washington is out the playoffs, so there's gonna be no Pac-12 team. UCF, I think, plays in the championship today, but they got their backup. That's another thing where they fall on the top on the list, or the playoff list. So a lot of interesting games today. I think high noon is the Oklahoma-Texas game, so probably be watching it. So go check that out. Got some little NHL for the show today. I know, I think it was Wednesday night, I want to say, or might have been Thursday night, I think it was. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Buffalo Sabres got together, and the Lightning was able to stop their 10-game winning streak. Tampa, of course, been playing well the last few years. Buffalo, of course, been struggling, but they've playing well this year. Been a little bit of a surprise. So that was a good hockey game, as the Lightning was able to win that game. I try to, like I said, get some NHL in here. Just honestly not a big fan, so it's hard for me to fit some stuff in here. But with no baseball going on, gotta get another sport in here. Or we just have NFL, NBA most of the time. But once the NFL season, though, we gonna go back to one blog a week anyway. And speaking of that, next Thursday night's game is the Titans and the Jaguars. So you know, it'll be a big game for the Titans, though. But we'll preview that. As far as my video game playthroughs, I finished the Spider-Man DLC. I didn't know it was that short, which I mentioned before. The Turf Wars DLC. So no more Spider-Man probably till sometime in December, when the next DLC come out, the Silver Lining. So until then, there'll be no more Spider-Man videos. I'm gonna try to do. I was live yesterday with 20XX, and I want to thank Yellow K Diamond for coming in and joining me on the second segment of that, because I had 2 videos of that. Black Ops 4, I did that live for a while as well. One of my videos got took it down because I was playing music, which I know was going to happen. So that's gone. But I do got a video up though of Black Ops 4. I'll probably do it Monday live again. Be live. I'll probably be doing the daytime though, because I'm gonna watch a Monday night game Monday night. And check out my other channel, the Open Book with Troy West. I'm gonna do a video right now, actually, as soon as I finish up here. As like I said, I always talk about my I'm open about my depression and everything. So I'm gonna talk about how the snowball effect, which basically means like basically your triggers. Like me, you know, personally, like if somebody disappoint me, or somebody hurt my feelings, or something don't work out for me, it's sort of a snowball effect. It make me think about, you know, other things, and it brings you down. So I talk about that though, and that'll be on my other channel, the Open Book, and I put a link in the description box. I mean, in the comment box, because my channel just getting started, so I can't. There's a lot of things I can't do with it yet. So, but that'll do it for this week. Episode 80. Of course, just to mention, just because it's the 80th episode, Jerry Rice, definitely the most famous 80 ever wore the number 80 in sports. Just go look up Jerry Rice. Some people probably forgot all about Jerry Rice, but Jerry Rice is the best receiver of all time, period. Just go look him up, trust me. Every receiver record he has it, touchdowns, yards, receptions, everything. And it's kind of amazing how he still leads. He played in an era where it was more run the football, and now you know, you see how offenses is now. They throwing the ball all over the place, but he's still the leader in all of those categories. So just makes it much more impressive. And he was my favorite athlete growing up. So shout out to Jerry Rice for the 80th episode of the Solid Sports Video Blog. Of course, episode 81 next Wednesday, as we preview the Titans and the Jaguars. And keep your eyes peeled for more video game playthroughs right here on the Solid Sports and Gamer channel. I'm Troy West, and thank you. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Saturday to everyone. It's December. Christmas right around the corner. So get your shopping out the way if you're a shopper. Thanks so much. I'm Troy West. I'll talk to you next time. Thank you. Appreciate all your support.